But then we move into one of the most powerful segments of our conversation as he shares the story of him coming to know Jesus. And this is really at the heart of this, the podcast, where the full length version of this is found on the Freedom Stories podcast. So this right here is him talking about coming to know the Lord and just the amazing ways that that came about. So let's go ahead and share that now.
It was an eternal day that will never, you just never walk out of something like that. When you meet the Lord, you're just never the same. I I had gotten to the point where I was stuck in some just horrendous, wretched, sinful situation that it was almost like it was over the top. Like, okay, I'm done. I gotta leave this place. So I had typed up the suicide letter that I mentioned. It actually opened the book with it,
Yeah,
and
it's the first. Yeah, it's actually pretty jarring, you guys. I would definitely have you look. I wasn't ready for that, and I was like, "Whoa,
yeah,
okay."
that was Nicole. That was Nicole's idea. She said you got to grab their attention. I said, well, let me just
that was
type
great.
type what I wrote, and that's all
Yeah.
taken right from what I wrote. And
Wow.
yeah, so I'm in this parking lot, just going over this plan because it was all laid out. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew who was going to find me. I knew it was the last person I was going to call. I knew how I was going to do it down to I had practiced this, like the actual technique of doing it. So I went to work that night, and I'm dwelling on this plan, like really, really, like you obsess over it, and I did it through music and just when you're alone, you cry. When you're that manic and you're that close to the end, you cry every time you're by yourself. It's just a fact. And so I was in my squad. It was so cold. It was one of them January. It was January 2013. The winter gusting wind was so ridiculous. I never forget that. So I knew nobody was going to be out. I went and parked in Walmart away from where the entrance that they close at nighttime. So I stayed as far away from anyone as I possibly could. So I just cried to myself. I never forget. I'm sitting in the car just like I am now. And I was like this, and tears are just coming. I'm just counting them hit my leg. And I'm just going over this plan of exactly what I was going to do. And there's no doubt to me that was my lowest moment, period. And then all of a sudden, I see this lady. And she comes walking out of the store and like, why is this? It's like 2 a.m. Like, why are you out here? And she had long black hair, and I just will never forget because the hair was sideways. I'm looking at it, it seemed so bizarre. Like, why? First of all, why don't you have a winter hat on? And why are you walking in this cold? So I see her walk towards a car, and it's way over there. And then she looks and she sees my squad, and she goes from the car and makes a beeline. So I instantly get enraged. I was like, why do you want to bother me for? So she comes up, and I gotta wipe all my tears away. I'm just like this, and I don't even. I'm rude actually. I don't even roll the window down, but a couple inches, and just enough time for she puts her hand through the window and she hands me something, and she just said, I always get emotional when I say this. The words that she just said, "You need this," and then she turned around and walked away. And I didn't know what she handed me. And when I looked down, and it's a Red Cross, and time kind of just stopped right there. I'm like, the chances of this being like coincidental, or it was just so bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was
It
God. I
wasn't
just knew
random.
immediately.
Yeah.
No, this was not a normal thing. This was not a human act. I'm like, I'm literally going over this in my head what I'm gonna do, and some lady in this weather walks with a cross me. So I screamed out. I like literally, if you were in my car, you would have seen me like screaming like this, like I am now. I was like screaming out, crying, weeping, like, God, you're there. This is you. This is you. Do something, save me, because I'm gonna die. And he answered me, and I will never forget that feeling that I had. It was so surreal. It's hard to describe. I just remember, I don't know if it was an audible voice or in my head. I just got this sense that I was safe, and I just felt the voice of Jesus, and he let me know that everything that I've done, all of the dirt that I did, like he was with me, watching me, and he would basically said, "Stop what you're doing. I love you, and follow me." And
Mm.
I've that was a moment that left me still. It still leaves me like scratching my head and wonder. And
Yeah.
so what I ended up doing was just calling my sister. She worked at Wesley Church. Never I'd never met her pastor. I was like, I know you got a pastor in there. It's a church. Something weird happened to me. I need to get in there. So
Mhm.
I went in there the next day and I met Pastor George and I gave my life to the Lord.
Mm.
And that's where this whole thing, if you read in scripture, where um, your heart of stone turns to heart of flesh, you become resurrected. There's so many beautiful analogies for it, and that's what
Yeah.
happened. I got life. I got different eyes. I had a heart that
Praise God.
that God changed. Period.
Mm.
And
Wow.
yeah, it was my story is, and it's no more important than any other salvation story. It's just I love to tell it. I realize that people can relate to it, and
Yep.
I'm just honored to tell them what God did. I take no credit for this. Like
Amen. Amen.
I cry when I think about how close it was, and that
Mm.
people that didn't make it. It breaks my heart.
Right.
But I'm gonna I'm just gonna tell the story and take advantage of the second chance. So that's what really led to this entire interview. This is how we met. This we'd never know each
Right.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
yep.
that's powerful, man. Powerful, powerful testimony. You got any thoughts there, Jario, before I share?
It's powerful testimony. I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
that woman just, yeah, the Lord sent her. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm always
And
wondering in those moments, like, what did the Lord say to her to leave?
I was actually just gonna say something like that because
Yeah.
like there was a sense in which, in a way, she's like an Ananias of
Hmm.
sorts in that story, right? Where
Yeah.
like she's being sent to now
Yeah.
like set this man free. I didn't even think about it
Exactly.
until this very moment right here.
Yeah.
It's the way that our conversation is flowing here. And I wonder, did she have an explicit talk like God had with Ananias?
Yeah.
Or is it one of those things that I think can happen to so many of us where it's like you just have a sense from the Lord that this is a thing that you are
Hmm.
called to do, and you don't know why. You don't know
Yeah.
the impact. You don't know
Yeah.
all of that. Ananias got the whole breakdown, like, hey, I'm gonna use him.
Yeah.
Here's what I've already told him.
Yeah.
And that's probably because the Lord knew I'm sending you to Saul, the one who's trying to take y'all out. So you probably
Exactly.
need a little bit,
A little bit more detail.
yeah. You probably ain't gonna be okay with just go. Yeah,
Exactly.
but like I wonder what she knew. I wondered if she knew that she was going to be a part of just
Yeah.
this amazing story of the way that God
Hmm.
not just transformed his life, but has now used him to transform so many others.
That's
Um,
awesome.